Gatwick Airport, the world's busiest single runway airport, serves over 200 destinations in 90 countries for around 33 million passengers a year on full-service, charter and short-haul leisure airlines. Gatwick is also a major economic driver for the South East region, generating around 23,000 on-airport jobs and a further 13,000 through related activities. The health, safety and well-being of our customers, employees, contractors, business partners and airport communities and the minimisation of our environmental impacts are of the utmost importance. It's expected of us and it's what we expect of you. Before you can work at the airport, you or your company need to ask the following questions. Do I require a pass? Do I need an ID card or a temporary pass? Be aware that with a temporary pass, you will need to be accompanied by an escort at all times. Do I need a permit to work or an isolation? Do I need special training and certification for work on certain equipment? Do I need a method statement and risk assessment? Do I have the correct level of insurance? And do I need to attend a special course to drive airside? Remember that when issued with a pass, you can only use it in permitted areas on authorised company business, and you'll be challenged by Gatwick Airport staff for proof of your permit at potentially any time. Any misuse or abuse will lead to its withdrawal. Wear your pass visibly at chest height and if necessary display it through a clear pocket or on an armband. Also be aware that Gatwick Airport operates a zero-tolerance policy on non-prescription drugs, smoking airside and drinking alcohol whilst on airport premises. Wherever you work, you should expect a local area induction to point out specific risks, responsibilities, hazards, security and emergency plans. Accidents affect people and their families. They can also have an impact on business and the environment. Most of us think that accidents happen to someone else, somewhere else. Unfortunately, accidents do happen, and they could affect or even be caused by you. Gatwick Airport's vision is to eliminate all accidents, to reduce our environmental impact, to use resources as efficiently as possible, and to encourage our stakeholders to do likewise. Contractors and other third parties are expected to supply their own personal protective equipment, PPE, and you must wear it as required. If your work is construction related, then Gatwick Airport's basic requirements include hard hat, safety boots, safety gloves, safety glasses and a high-vis vest, preferably with your company name and logo. Unless otherwise agreed, all equipment and resources, including portable safety barriers, are to be supplied by you or your employer. Equipment brought on site must be clearly labelled with your company name and contact details or it could be removed. It needs to be safe, so it must have relevant testing certification. For example, PAT testing and labelling for electrical equipment or tagging of scaffold. You need to be safe using equipment. Never use equipment for which you have not been correctly trained. All faults of equipment or facilities belonging to Gatwick Airport must be reported to the airport's fault line by calling 1111 on the internal phone network. When equipment is not in use, switch it off and if applicable, immobilise or store it safely. Authorised company vehicles must bear the company's name and contact details and have their beacons active when airside. Remember to observe the speed limits. Always park in designated areas and never leave a vehicle unattended on terminal forecourts, interstand clearways or in no parking zones. When working airside, especially on the apron, things to be aware of are Extreme weather conditions, such as high winds, fog and ice, ingestion, blast and noise from aircraft engines. If you do need to approach an aircraft, then keep out of the coned areas and have hearing protection ready. Moving aircraft, transportation equipment and vehicles. It's important to see and be seen, so your high-vis vest or clothing is essential. Wear safety footwear too. If lifting materials or equipment, use mechanical aids where possible and good lifting techniques at all times. Along with slips, trips and falls, manual handling injuries are one of the nation's biggest causes of absence and injury. Observe the safety signs that are there to protect you. A quick reminder: a blue sign indicates something you must do. A red sign indicates something you must not do. A yellow sign warns of a hazard, and a green sign indicates safe passage. Watch out for pedestrians, and if you are a pedestrian, always use the authorised access, designated routes and safe areas. Emergency exits must be kept clear at all times. If closure is required, then approval must be gained. Certain works need to be isolated from the public and staff, and you should display warning signs if required. Always treat people with courtesy and respect and never use bad language. Many passengers think that anyone wearing a high-vis vest will know the answer to all their queries. We don't expect you to do that, but if at all possible, please point them towards someone who can help, the customer service desk, for example. Wherever you work, be it landside, airside, office, terminal, workshop or airfield, work responsibly. Keep your work area tidy and safe and use resources wisely. Ask yourself, do I need to print that document? Could that light be switched off? For some high-risk activities, you'll need a permit to work. Everything from the use of cranes to working in confined spaces requires a permit. Unfortunately, accidents do happen. Whether an accident, incident, or even a near miss, you must report it. Gatwick Airport wants to know why they happen so they can be prevented in the future. The environment is the responsibility of us all, both as individuals and as companies. So let's try to reduce our use of resources, reuse where possible, and recycle as much as we can. Think carefully before putting anything into a general waste bin and never fly tip. Also, remember that waste can be a major cause of fire and pollution and what we call FOD. Foreign object debris can present a real danger to aircraft, as can food waste, which attracts birds. If you see any loose waste, pick it up and dispose of it in the correct skips or bins. We also need to be aware of work that can cause pollution to our rivers and streams and of liquids soaking into the ground and into the water table. Always store oils, detergents and other chemicals on trays and buns to ensure that all leaks and spillages are captured, and dispose of oils and chemicals into the correct containers. Clean up all spillages immediately. Ensure that you have the correct PPE to carry out the cleanup. Use the appropriate spill absorbent material and prevent spillages entering drains. Report all spills or leaks that you see. For any major spills, call the airport emergency number 222. The control of substances hazardous to health, COSH, is important for you and the environment. Substances must be accurately labelled, correctly stored and used, and disposed of safely and appropriately. Gatwick maintains an asbestos register, but if you're suspicious of any material in your work area, report it immediately to your site manager or supervisor. Other hazardous waste, including computers and fluorescent lighting tubes, should be disposed of in the correct hazardous waste containers. No matter what our role, we can each play a part in protecting the environment. What about your journey to work? Is public transport an option? Or walking, cycling, or car sharing? In the event of injury, make sure you know who your trained first aiders are and where to find first aid, eye wash and defibrillation equipment. In the event of an emergency such as fire or a security evacuation, your responsibility is to protect yourself, other airport workers and, of course, the public. You should raise the alarm and call either 222 from an internal phone or 999 from a mobile. Above all, do not put yourself at risk. Familiarise yourself with the emergency alarm sounds and escape routes at your work area. Whatever the sound, if it's continuous, you must stop what you're doing, turn off or make safe any equipment you're using, and make your way either to the assembly point or a neighbouring zone that is not in alarm as directed in your area induction. Never stop to collect personal belongings. Don't use any lifts or escalators and do not return to your area of work until told to do so by the fire officer or assembly point marshal. During an evacuation, please assist any members of the public as they may not be as aware of the procedures as you are. You should be aware that a needlessly triggered alarm can close a terminal and cause disruption for the travelling public and airlines. Evacuating a terminal costs Gatwick and its partners thousands of pounds in addition to the inconvenience and distress to passengers. Our individual actions, or lack of them, impact others in all areas of the business. Remember, it's your responsibility to work safely in an environmentally sound way. Be prepared to challenge other people who are not behaving safely or securely. Make sure that you've received appropriate training and are competent to undertake your work. If you think a situation is unsafe, stop the work immediately and contact your supervisor. Please be professional at all times. Don't take shortcuts and be observant as you go about your business. Considerable effort goes into making sure aircraft and passengers arrive safely at their destinations. We want to see similar effort made in making sure that everybody working at our airports returns home safely to their families at the end of the day. We want you to do everything you can to prevent accidents and to stop and report anything you see that is unsafe. We hope your work with Gatwick will be safe and enjoyable.